Going to talk about substrate. So this pour enclosure is kind of crappy right now. Kind of went on a crazy killing spree of mealyworms. Not too bad, but it's not looking its best right now. But that's okay. The focus is substrate. Let's get a close look here. Most important thing when it comes to bioactive is microfauna. Isopods are a huge importance when it comes to bioactive setups. Here we have two species. We have baby Prunosis, the powdered blues, and we have these guys. These are white dwarfs. Parthenogenic isopod that tends to live underground in like microcolonies. These guys are really good because they help stir soil. Well, not like literally stir it, but you know, they live underground. They move around and in turn it tills soil. Normally you'll never see them, but when there is food above ground, they come up in hordes, or if you spray the ground, they'll come up. It's pretty cool. Now, this is leftovers of a shed. And so is this. It naturally breaks down because of all of the little bugs and stuff in here. Probably don't see them, but we also have springtails in here. And a bunch of other little doodads, gosh knows what. So the soil mixture here is stuff. Honestly, I don't have an explanation of what is in my soil. It's years and years of hoarding soil, saving soil, tilling soil, because I usually will take off the top layer once a year and add new soil to it, and then I'll keep the old soil because of all the beneficial inverts and whatnot, and try and keep them alive and mix them into others. And a little springtail dude there. They're very good to have. So this one, it's hard to say what it really is. A lot of soil, obviously. Holds burrows, no problem. Sorry guys. But we also have, obviously we have leaf strands. I'll actually zoom out a little bit here. We have cocoa husk. There's been moss in here somewhere. Here's a piece. Lots of sand. You can see the white grains in here. I think when I first did this enclosure, we did, oh gosh, I think it was 3 bags of soil, 1 bag of sand, and then I just kind of went from there. Oops. And then made it to what I feel I was comfortable with. And on the regular, I add leaf litter, so it breaks down, adds nutrients into the soil, allows isopods to hide. You know what? It really looks nice. It gives a nice natural feel. As you can see, sorry, the glass really needs to be washed here. But leaf litter is amazing. How are you guys gonna finish your fish? Hello. And yes, I am cohabiting with a corn snake. Hate me, but that's okay. As you can see, nice large enclosure. Now let's check another enclosure out. Okay, so we got 2 here. So these are pretty new compared to this one. So there isn't as much microfauna in these. However, it's good enough where I really don't have to do much spot cleaning. Excuse this mess here. Had to chop this guy down because he was getting too big. So as some explanation, we got an intake fan and an outtake fan here because in the summer it gets too hot. So this substrate is actually more of a plant-based type. Lots of mosses. Here, I'll find a better spot. Well, actually, do here. So we got lots of orchid bark, fir bark, however you want to call it. A little bit of perlite, cocoa husk. Deep down, there is the layer with the isopods right under all of the bark and moss. So you can see the top layer is pretty dry, but underneath it's nice and damp. Let's stick my finger in. It's a very shallow substrate. Like we're looking at maybe 2 inches of substrate. That's it in this guy. But as you can see, it's working well. It's holding moisture nicely. It's not too clumpy, but not too dry. And that's what you kind of want to look for. You don't want it too wet. You don't want it too dry. Our isopods love to hide under the bark. And our resident is here, being very tolerant. Kind of puffing up at me a little bit for bugging. But he could handle it. So, whoops. Leaf litter, very important. More moss in this case. Just I'm trying out different ways here to see how it works. Plants are happy. Can't complain. Animals are happy. And again, this enclosure is like maybe a year old. And it's already self-sustaining. Now this one. Let's see. This one's been a bit of a struggle. See, my poor plants are a little sad. Been struggling with spider mites, which for anybody that doesn't know, not snake mites. These are a type of mite that attacks plants. So I did some chemical warfare in here and I've actually lost a bit of my cleanup crew, but everything's doing pretty okay. See what we have as stragglers. Yeah, see, not too much for cleanup crew here. There's a couple. Hard to see them. But this is an enclosure that I will have to take about, I don't know, half of the substrate out and redo. But it still works. Substrate here, sorry, the humidity is kind of nuts in here. Substrate is still damp, just how you want it, but not too damp. And people kind of wonder, how do you keep your substrate damp? Well, when you have plants, you have to water the plants, and usually that's enough. Sometimes it's not though, and I have to do like full water dumps. I will dump probably 4 gallons of water in here, or this one, probably every 2 weeks or so to hydrate the soil. And yeah, there's one in the making. There's no residents up there yet, except for one little knoll. But that one we're getting ready for bioactive. This one's still the newest, need a redo. This one's functioning on its own, and as well as this one. And this video is proving to me I need to clean my glass. Holy water spots. So we'll look at this one. As you can see, got the odd shed. Normally I take full sheds out, but sometimes the inverts like to eat them. And if anyone's asking, this is just hot glue. Don't worry about it. So leaf, more leaf, leaf. It's a little dry in here. Oh, there we go. And there's the moisture. So here, I need to start adding more bark in because not enough hiding spots for the isopods, but they are here. You just don't see them because there's so much leaf litter. But leaf litter is your friend. It really is. Word of advice for people, if you're allergic to poison ivy or react to poison ivy, do not put crotons in your plants. I mean, fail. Do not put crotons in your enclosures because they carry ursinol oil, which is what poison ivy has. And I wasn't smart. I put these in my enclosures, and every time I go in there and touch them, I break out. So just word of advice. It's great for snakes, whatever. Like, it's no issue. But this is a quick little blurb, 10-minute blurb. Wow, that's not quick. On Substrate.